How did this company came about?
Well, originally, I got tired of making other promoters money and taking care of everybody else's agendas or their companies. So I formed Stranglehold Wrestling about 2 years ago, merely a booking agency, do Comic Cons and signings and that sort of thing. And I decided I would step things up a notch when I noticed a growing trend in popularity for deathmatch wrestling. So that's the route I took. My inaugural show this past September for Bloodbath, huge success, over 400 people in a small building. Very, very hot crowd in there, let me tell you. Madman Pondo was my main event, along with a local guy in a steel cage. Couldn't ask for better. Corporal Robinson was there. Great match. The boot camp match was a huge success. Gunner, that you may know from TNA, was also there. Also really successful. Sabu did a tables match. And then we had Trevor Murdoch come and do a bull rope match. So all in all, it was just nonstop action.
That's quite the list of talent you got there. Definitely familiar with those names for sure, and all the contributions they've done. And Stranglehold Wrestling definitely making a name for itself. What are some of the up and coming shows that you have that you would like to promote?
Say that again.
What are some of the upcoming shows that you have that you would like to promote?
I'm sorry. Say that one more time. It was kind of cutting out.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that. As I was saying, talk about some of the upcoming Stranglehold Wrestling events that you got coming up.
Well, like I said, the bull rope match, we had a special guest referee interfere in sort of a mess over finish against Trevor Martin's opponent, Dangerous Danny Horn, by a guy named Dale Norris. Uh, they're setting up for a Doc Hall chain match here in the near future.
Hmm.
Also, Gunner was attacked by a group called the Devil's Rejects, which is a guy named Iceberg. If you've ever been around Georgia, you may know who he is. He's been on TNA and wrestled a lot of places, but he's very known in Georgia. And also Tank that faced Madman Pondo in the main event. They're both part of the Devil's Rejects. If you get a chance, check them out on Facebook. They're a very good team. So I set up a nice angle for Gunner to return, uh, as well as if you're familiar with Jake James, who wrestles throughout the Carolinas, he also was part of that angle. So those are the two main angles I'm working on right now for future shows.
That is awesome, man. Definitely gonna keep an eye on them, for sure. So, what do you like the most being in charge of your own company? You handpick the
Well,
talent.
like I said, I'm responsible for my own success or my own failure.
Hmm.
In hiring the right people, putting the right people in place, and making sure there's no double dealing going on under the table. To me, I think that's been the most rewarding thus far. Because, like I said, working for other people, there's a lot of, well, I know I said I can pay you this much, but, you know, there's a lot that goes on in independent wrestling, and that's one of the things that caused me to say, when I'm done helping other people out, because, people were too worried about their own pockets instead of taking care of the people that actually did all the work.
I totally agree with you, man. 100%. I totally agree with you for sure. So, do you have a favorite moment in Stranglehold Wrestling? Whether it's an angle, whether it's a match, whether it's a surprise appearance. Like, do you have a all-time favorite moment for Stranglehold Wrestling?
Moment. Well, that's kind of hard to say because, like I said, Bloodbath was a huge success. I definitely want to thank everybody that was involved with that and say that I look forward to doing more shows with those particular people. I think that show as a whole was a defining moment as itself for what is to come.
Definitely looking forward to many more that Stranglehold Wrestling has to offer. You can check them out on Facebook, Stranglehold Wrestling. Go to Facebook, look it up, and like the fan page. They'll be posting upcoming events and surprise appearances and anything related to Stranglehold Wrestling. Go check them out on Facebook. So is there any wrestler, whether it's someone from the indies or someone from that once wrestled for a pro company that you would like to book on Stranglehold Wrestling, but they haven't gotten the opportunity? Who are some people that you would like to see at
Well,
Stranglehold Wrestling?
I do have some interest in Dreamer, since he was an ECW original. I have some interest in, most people from the ECW and deathmatch scene. I've looked at, have you ever heard of a deathmatch wrestler named Insane Lane?
Yes, I'm very familiar with that. Yes.
Yeah, I've also been looking at bringing him in the near future. Like, it's not a matter of if, it's always a matter of when with these guys. So that's where I'm at with it.
So considering, that's what your company focus on, the hardcore wrestling style, what was it that you liked the most about the hardcore, the ECWs, that made you want to bring some of that element to Stranglehold Wrestling? Like what?
Well, as I would walk around the streets and ask the average citizen, "Sir, ma'am, are you a wrestling fan?" And they would come to me and say, "Well, wrestling's fake, and here's why it's fake." Well, when they came to my show, there was no mistaking any of that. Like, yeah, this definitely wasn't fake. These guys are, putting it all out on the line all the time. Pedal to the metal, nonstop. So that was my thing. I want to separate myself from every other indie promotion out there that, number one, they use the same guy every 30 miles. The only thing that's different is the call letters for the promotion. So that way I use different people, and I use people that are going to draw the crowd in. Another thing that grabbed my attention was, the continuous cult-like following of this Juggalo phenomenon, the Insane Clown Posse followers, and their, propensity to follow that sort of thing. I wanted to cash in on that as well.
That's awesome. Insane Clown Posse for sure. Obviously, mostly known as hip hop artists, but man, they definitely have had quite the contributions to the wrestling industry themselves, and the Juggalo movement. With the face paint and everything, and it's like wow, like these guys really love what they do, and you starting to see music artists start to like the wrestling scene. Well, mostly through the mainstream, but obviously ICP, like they was into that hardcore, atmosphere, like the adrenaline, that type of wrestling. And I like the ECW. And what's great about the WWE Network is that you get to relive majority of those matches, from Sabu to RVD to Taz to the Dudley Boys. I mean, just to relive those times when ECW, they put their bodies on the line more than any other company. They went through thumbtacks. They went through the tables. They went through tables with fire on it. They did all that, and it was just mind blowing. Like, wrestlers, I consider them the toughest athletes in the world. Like,
absolutely, without question.
like bar none. Like the wrestling moves they do is one thing, but the punishment that they take, whether it's 5 minutes, 10, 15, 20, 30-minute matches, like it's no joke. It's real as it gets. And for people that will say that wrestling is fake, whatever, either they never watched wrestling in their lives, or maybe they just don't fully understand how wrestling goes. I mean, and and, and no mistake about it. Like wrestlers, they got families to feed. They wanna provide for their family, and when you see them in the ring, they're gonna go at each other, but at the same time, the last thing they want to do is kill each other. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So
Yeah, this brotherhood, you have to trust the guy you're in the ring with, and that's what amazes me the most about those guys is they're willing to take care of each other and take each other to the limit. Vice, a lot of these, I don't know if you heard recently, but I recently interviewed Jim Cornette. If you look on the Alcy's Action Figure Frenzy page, the interview topic was the current state of professional wrestling, and he gave his take on it. And there was one thing that Mr. Cornette pointed out. It's like a lot of these guys, it's not a matter of them really wanting to be wrestlers anymore. They want to be reality TV stars. And that seems to be the problem in today's independent wrestling. So that's why I've stepped my game up more, is to even prove someone like Jim Cornette wrong that there is still hope for this business and there's still hope for the indie scene. We just have to show them.
I definitely have met Jim Cornette on a couple of occasions. Oh,
What, man?
so joining me right now, for those just tuning in, it's Eric Nelson of Stranglehold Wrestling. Again, you can check them out on Facebook. Check them out. They got the upcoming shows. They got some notable names that's going to be there in the Georgia area. Go check them out. Again, strangleholdwrestling.com. So, I'm definitely got some plans in the works. Got some more interviews that's going to be lining up in the future. So be on the lookout for that. I'm going to recap a couple of things in a matter of moments, and my thoughts on PTW, Primetime Wrestling, Georgetown, Kentucky, coming up this Sunday.
I'm sorry about that. People keep interrupting me.
Oh, okay, not a problem, man, not a problem. So I'm going to ask you one more question. What would you being in charge of your own company and all, what would your advice be to anyone out there that wants to do what you do, like being in charge of your own company, bringing talent in, going behind the scenes and everything like that? What would your advice be to anyone that wants to start a wrestling company like you have?
Well, number one, at least be able to guarantee $5,000 cash on hand per show. That's first and foremost. Have the money to pay your bills. Secondly, quality over quantity. Focus on quality people that you know are going to draw. Do your research. Do your homework. Don't just book somebody just because they hit you up on social media or email or what have you and say, hey, I'm a wrestler. Can you book me? There's a lot of these guys that are not worth 2 cents, honestly. And there's some of these guys that are great. Here's another one. I'll give a special shout out to Mr. Fred Yehai. Promoters out there, if you see this guy, so I'll definitely throw that name out there real quick. There's countless others. I'd be here all night, giving the positives, the guys that will go out there and do what they got to do to get the show over and everything else. There's so many people that ain't got no business doing this. So, would-be promoters, do your research, do your homework, and never let anybody tell you can't do something. Let your work speak for you. That's the only advice I can offer.
Well, Eric Nelson, I want to thank you so much for your time on the show. I know we had this interview planned a few weeks ago, but things didn't work out. So I'm glad we was able to reschedule. And thank you so much for your time, man, and for all your contributions down south in Georgia. I used to live there before I moved back to Kentucky, and hopefully at a later time when I do come back to Georgia, I definitely have to check out Stranglehold Wrestling one time. So So
And I'll have the next show date available as soon as possible.
sounds good, man. Thank you for your time. Continued success to you and
Well,
Stranglehold Wrestling.
interruptions. I stay pretty busy around here.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for your time, and you have a great weekend, man.
All right, thanks.
All right, bye-bye.